All right. Hello, hello. So let me just see.
It is good to
It's
see you.
good to see you too. All right, I think we're live.
I think so.
Haven't done
Hmm.
this for a long time, so yeah, looks that way. All right, so I'm actually really excited about tonight because I got to had the privilege of meeting this beautiful man, Jeff Jones. A mutual friend introduced me to him. And he's coming to Edmonton. He lives in Chicago, and his website is called reclaimyourjoy.guru. And
Hmm.
I want to say it's more he's all about really reclaiming your life. So if you're not really living fully and loving fully and connecting with the joy that's already within, this is your person. Because what impressed me most when I met you, Jeff, was that it's wisdom. This is all from your own lived experience. Like everything that you do now and this workshop that you're going to be offering in Edmonton. So this is why I wanted to do this live today because I feel like everyone needs to meet this person. We have a golden opportunity here because he's coming to Edmonton February 21st to 23rd for a 3 day workshop, or 2.5 days anyway. Step into joy. And so I wanted people to get an opportunity to really connect with you and your wisdom and your story because it's so powerful and it's so inspiring. And I've been every time I talk to you, I leave with some golden nugget and just feeling more and more inspired. So I'm attending this workshop. I'm also going to be a guest presenter for part of it. And I am super stoked about it because we're diving deep. So, Jeff Jones, I'm just going to read your bio because I think it's really powerful, if that's okay. And then
It's okay.
you can tell us a little bit more about your journey. So, Jeff Jones, Jeff helps people at any stage of their lives find joy and gratitude in being their authentic selves. His work is guided by his own journey. Overnight, he went from being a senior corporate executive to a homeless alcoholic, then found recovery, transformation, purpose, and joy. He is an abundance trainer who's certified as an alcohol and drug abuse counselor, a clinical hypnotherapist, and transpersonal life coach. His workshops and individual coaching blend the joyfulness teachings of Christianity, Buddhism, and other religions with the science of what makes us feel, think, and act the way we do. The dark moments of Jeff's life have given him lessons he can share with others who want to find their purpose, limit their negative thinking, or live healthier lives. So I would love for you to just tell everyone and welcome whoever's watching.
Yeah,
um, Tell everyone a little bit about your journey and what led you to being the joy guru.
sure. And thanks, Jerry, and thanks for hosting this, and thanks for being a part of the weekend and everything, because it's going to be awesome. I am so excited. I mean, I'm in Chicago, and somehow I have all these friends in Edmonton, and that exists because of Zoom. And COVID and things like that, where I got the opportunity to meet people. So I'm really looking forward to coming up to Edmonton. So the story, the way that I always tell people is that I really like the outcome, but I don't recommend the path because the path was painful. The path was being a senior vice president at a very large company and being a functional alcoholic until the economy went south and the company went south and our investments was south and I didn't handle it well. And I ended up losing a home and a wife and a career and um, being hospitalized at a hospital significantly far away from my home that I don't know how I got there and don't really know how long I was there. And when I left, I didn't have anywhere to be. And I learned that at 57 years old, I don't do well living on the street. I did not have those skills, and ended up at a shelter, and it, it and living in a dorm room with four other guys from a quite large house in a very upscale neighborhood in Chicago. So it was quite the shock, right? And I lived there, I lived in that building for 18 months. And I was 57 years old, and I lived in this shelter for 18 months. And this is absolutely true. It was the best 18 months of my life
Wow.
because I had the opportunity to do nothing but work on myself for 18 months. And I didn't have to pay a mortgage. I didn't have to, and I don't have kids, so I didn't have to, wrestle with that kind of thing. My wife had left, and the house had been foreclosed on, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't have anything to worry about, right? I didn't have anything to like, well, I got to do this, so I get this. All I had to do was live day to day and get a little bit better every day and start to learn what it was that was allowing me to get a little bit better every day.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
got to do that for 18 months.
Yeah, I can understand how, that's actually a luxury, isn't it? To just be able to have that time, have that space and the support to really just know thyself and how, how has my life gotten to this? And yeah, and then the steps to climb back out.
Yeah, the place that I was in, it was is a faith-based shelter, and the Chicago chapter of Shambhala Buddhism was a mile away, and so I had the opportunity to be a part of both of those worlds and take advantage of that. And my day was very structured. It was early and early would get up and work all day and classes at night, but I had all this time to do nothing but read and learn. And then from that, I got offered a job in the intake department for $9.25 an hour, which is significantly far away from six figures, right? But it was enough. And I stayed there. And I've learned how to live in Chicago on almost nothing and learn how to do this. And then I got good enough at it that guys would come to me in the shelter and ask me to help them figure out how to have a good time in Chicago without having any money. And then it started to be it, but all these things were just giving me little tools, little stories that helped me in my recovery and then helped them in their recovery. And it's where I really started to recognize the power of community and being a little bit better every day. And that was the community aspect was amazing. And I truly, truly believed that because that I was doing meaningful work at Salvation Army, even early on when I was folding clothes, which is not a senior vice president job
Mhm.
by outside standards, right?
Yeah.
But it was the first time I ever felt like what I was doing actually had an impact, that I was actually doing something. Because frankly, it doesn't matter if you buy this cookie or that cookie. It really doesn't matter, right? But it did matter if we didn't get product out to the stores, because if we didn't get product out to the stores, no money came back in to fund the program.
Mm.
So it was meaningful, it was absolutely meaningful work.
Yeah.
And then I recognized that I was surrounded by people trying to get a little bit better every day.
The
And
magic pill.
it is. And we would laugh about it and talk about it. And, how are we getting better today? What'd you do? And we'd challenge each other on it, and it was fun. And from there, um, I had a boss who was really good at teaching me all the, I had a business background, so he taught me all the business side of the center. And unfortunately, he passed away. And when he passed away, they looked for a guy to be program director and couldn't find one and to work at the pay that they wanted to pay. But I took it and I stayed for 10 years. And during that 10-year time, I had the opportunity to see about 5,400 men and women go through the program,
Amazing.
right? Which is a giant sample size. And I had the opportunity to craft classes and do meditations and do things with continuity and having people express what's going on with them now and recognizing in their body where they feel things and like where do you feel anger first? I feel it in my arms. Okay, well, when you feel your arms light up, you're about to get mad. What are you going to do? And so it's just things like that um, help guys recognize that they really aren't broken. They just got to shed stuff. So over the 10 years, I designed tons of classes and call them tricks, whatever, but just foundational things on how to make conscious choices and live a happy life with or without the stress of day-to-day
Right. Yeah, not
jobs
everyone
and
has that
everything.
luxury of 18 months of support and space and not having to work, but only having to work on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people don't have 10 minutes.
No,
And
well, they won't make 10 minutes. They haven't.
well, yeah, that's another one. And so a lot of the things that we'll do over the weekend and that people can take are things that I mean, I kind of pride myself on having lots of things that don't require any additional time in your life
Yeah,
that
possible.
actually make changes in your life.
Practical. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
yeah, it's embodied wisdom, like the what you're coming with. I mean, when we kind of went through and you told me some of the stuff that you were planning, I was really blown away. My first thought was, how are you only charging $333? I'm like, this is like a $1,500 retreat. And
it is. I mean, it's loaded. It really is. And it was a moment of clarity. I'm going to put it that way, okay? And the clarity was that I want to meet all these people that I've talked to for the last 5 years. I want to see them in three dimensions. And and that's that's where it was. And that number has a significance to me. And so there you have it.
yeah, well, that's an amazing introductory price for everything that you're going to be offering. And it's like, yeah, when meditation and breath work and dyads and things that I have absolutely fallen in love with in my journey, and they have really helped me shift my perspective and see like
Yeah.
a whole new, set of glasses, right?
Yeah, there's like you bring up breath work. There'll be several breath exercises and then a full journey breath work session,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. It's one of my personal favorites
for
and just things to do. And frankly, if you just do the most basic of the breath work things, because so how many times are you going to breathe today, Jerry? You have an idea how many breaths you're going to take in a day?
a
It's
whole
it's
hell of a lot.
exactly. It's about 18 to 20,000, right? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to share a way that you can take at least a dozen or 20 meaningful breaths during the day
Mm.
because you're not going to skip those breaths. You're going to take them anyway. So you might as well make them count. So if nothing else, if you walk away just with that, you'll live longer, you'll live healthier, you'll think more clearly, and why not?
Why
So
not? I
why
mean,
not? So just little things like that.
best tool that we have for sure
It
for
is.
nervous system regulation, just to arrive in this in presence, like where life is.
Hmm.
missing life a lot of the time in our busyness and our and all the distractions of social media and the screen time. And so, yeah, I really felt the power of this weekend in community, working on yourself. And there's so much magic that happens when you commit to yourself in that way. Like and say and you affirm, well, I'm important. I matter. And it already starts to heal those wounds that we've been carrying around our whole life, of feeling unlovable and like we're unworthy, because then we're proving ourselves wrong. Like I am worthy and I'm going to prioritize myself. So even just saying yes, just feeling into your yes and blocking off that time for you, and
Yeah,
we're doing it
that's
at Star of the North. So people even have
yeah,
the option of they could book a room and they could just immerse themselves all weekend in the
yeah.
end.
The rooms are. I mean, there's like $65 a night, so it's like, you
Doesn't get
know,
much better than this, people. Like,
it really doesn't for a beautiful facility and just walk down the hall and go to the workshop. That's pretty cool.
well,
And I kind of hesitated there because a long time ago I started to change the name of my workshops to calm shops because I just want people to rest,
right, yeah, because I
and,
think
and accept,
workshop, play shop, calm shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rest. Well, and it will calm the nervous system and start
Absolutely.
to develop some new neural pathways, with some of the tools that you're offering. We're going to be practicing together.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of small group exercises, a lot of diet exercises. And in the intro, you talked about how I incorporate science, and that's an important part. You've got mental, physical, spiritual, emotional accounts. And how do you deal with all of those, right? Because in every moment, you're making contributions and withdrawals from each one of those. And how do you maintain that spiritual and emotional foundation so that the mental piece doesn't just crush it, which in recovery is that spiritual bankruptcy.
Hmm,
And it's the recognition and still that we are human. We have chemical. We feel something. I feel this. I do that.
right.
And how do I begin to recognize when I'm about to do something or say something that doesn't serve me anymore? It kept me safe when I was 6, but it doesn't serve me now.
Hmm.
And how do I learn to be first? You talk about the nervous system. How do I get to neutral in that? But how do I know that I'm safe? Because safety is always the bottom line to everything. If I feel safe, I'm willing to say something and laugh at myself. I'm willing to do all of those kinds of things. And then throughout the weekend, we'll do things to help identify how others see you and how you can express how you see yourself.
Hmm,
And when you say things out loud, that's so important because when we say things in our mind, we don't have complete sentences and complete paragraphs. So these little half sentences followed by an emotion, and then we go squirrel, and then we're off to the next thing, you know?
so true. Yeah.
And so being able to speak in with clear and clean language is so important because when we say things out loud, we're constantly editing. We're constantly asking ourselves, is this true? Is what I'm saying the truth? Or am I hedging a little bit?
Hmm.
Am I being concise? Am I in a story and I'm just looking for people to nod? And as soon as I get most of the people to nod, I can stop. What is it that I'm doing in that moment? And that's really what most of the exercises are around is truly testing some stuff in the moment
Hmm.
and then seeing what I don't need anymore.
Wow. Yeah. So I can really see the opportunity for people to expand their awareness, which is everything. Like we are that, and that's the, that's one of the secrets to life is living from that place of pure presence and pure loving awareness. and starting
Mhm.
to see ourselves and others through those eyes, right, of this loving presence. And, questioning, yeah, is this true? All of these ideas, all of these beliefs, all of these programs that they've just taken over, right? They're in the way of connection, like
It
connection
is.
beyond belief. We got to get out of our minds and out of the beliefs and start to just really deeply connect with ourselves and connect with others and heighten that awareness so we can catch ourselves and not just be living in autopilot. And I think you must have experienced that. It sounds like that 18 months that you
Yeah.
out of autopilot and you start to notice that even folding clothes, this is meaningful.
Yeah, there's like actually you just described the start of the workshop because it's where do these things come from? Where do my thoughts and feelings, how do they become my reality?
Uh,
And the story I always tell, you hear the line, reality is not real. And you kind of go, what? Yeah, right. But it's true. And the story that I'm sure that I'll tell is like think of you and five of your friends, and you all get in the same car and you all go to the same movie. Okay, you're all in the same car, you all buy a ticket, you all get soda and popcorn, you all go in, you sit there, you experience the movie, same temperature, same story, same music, same everything. You get out. Are all five of you going to have the same opinion of the movie? Not a chance. Well, how can that be? It's a controlled test. Every variable was controlled. How can it not?
yeah.
Right? Because we all have different experiences. And my perception is that when I'm talking to you, you understand it in the way that I want you to. I don't know if that's true at all. You're going to receive it however you receive it,
Mhm.
right? So it's how do we do that? So that's the start of the weekend. It's just beginning to get that. And then you talk about community and connection. We'll talk a lot about connection between primitive and evolved and the conflict there, head and heart, and the conflict there, because that my goofy line in that one is the head's only job is to protect your heart. And but that's pretty close to true. And so head and heart, and then connection between me and you, and then connection between me and something bigger than me, whatever we call that.
Woohoo. You speak my language. Yeah, because
Yeah,
therapy that I studied for 6 years with a Zen Buddhist master is all about, healing that disconnect between our head and our heart, our inner masculine and inner feminine, which always
mhm,
shows up outside of us. Whatever
absolutely.
our internal reality and our internal relationship is going to show up in our external relationships. And then awakening the inner parent and that heightening that awareness and becoming the master, right, of our mind and emotions, so that our mind and emotions they're like our inner children. They can actually just play in this adventure of life rather than take it so seriously and be in fear, like just that protection mode, that head always having to protect. Is this safe? Is this safe? Is this, danger, danger with anything unfamiliar. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just immersing myself and with a, let's get some people, like let's build a community here in Edmonton for you because I'm already a fan of your work. Just having the conversations that I've had with you have been profound and your stories, like, oh, what you've been through and the wisdom that you've gained is amazing.
It was cool, and there was actually a point that was on it in December of 2009, um, and I was in my dorm room, and I'm on the third floor of the dorm room, and I'm kind of looking over the Chicago skyline, which is towards the sunrise, which is just beautiful, right? I mean, it's gorgeous. And at the place that I was at, we did work every day and we got paid $9 a week, right?
Wow.
But when you don't have rent and don't have to pay food, you don't really have a lot that you need. So, and I'm surrounded by all these condos and apartments that are $500,000, right? And they're $4,000 a month rent apartments. And I'm standing in the window, and the other four guys behind me, they're snoring and starting to get up and all that. And I look out the window, and the sunrise is gorgeous.
Mm.
And I go, look at this. I have the same view as those people do. I have the exact, in this moment, we are having the same experience.
Mm.
And it was the very first time I was 57. It was the very first time in my life that I was absolutely present in that moment without the outside, but I don't have any money. I don't have a car. I don't have this. I don't have that. I was just present, and I was grateful for that opportunity to see that sunrise. First time I ever really saw a sunrise,
Ooh,
right? I mean, I've been there and the sun's come up, you know,
never really seen it.
but
Yeah.
I never saw it until that day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that day changed my life.
Mm.
And I said it, so this is all I have to do? And the answer is yes. And so after that, it's been trying to figure out how I do that. And hence the back to school, the center, the Buddhist things, the classes, the hypnotherapy stuff, breath work, all these things to help find that space for myself and others. And
Mm.
with all those men and women that went through, the ones that really, in fact, right before we got on this call, a guy called me from the center that I haven't seen in like 10 years. He just wanted to tell me about his son he made dean's list in high school,
Wow.
you know, and I think that's really cool. And he always talks about, he said, it was when we were in the center together, it was the first time I realized I was a good guy.
Wow.
And if you do that, it gives you the opportunity to do the work without the fear. And
Mm.
that's really what we work on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that really is, you're helping people shift from surviving in fear in that old paradigm conditioned life and thrive in love and in presence and appreciation,
Mhm.
gratitude. Like, yeah, so it's not rocket science, but man, it takes a lifetime to master, doesn't it?
There is a line in the AA Big Book where it talks about alcoholism, and you can put in any demon. It does not have to be alcohol or drugs. It can be anything that's holding you back, right? But they talk about it being cunning, baffling, and powerful. And those three words are perfectly written. Because once you think you've got something, the inside of our mind twists it just enough so you doubt it, and then we're back to square one.
Mhm.
And without that inner knowing and making the deposits to that spiritual, emotional piece and healthy deposits to the mental and physical pieces, that's just required to do this work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I am so excited to have you here in Edmonton, and I hope you stay for a little while so we can have more time to visit and hang out and
Yeah, I am. I'm coming up Wednesday and then I'm staying till Wednesday. So,
perfect.
so yeah,
Okay.
so yeah.
Yeah, so reclaimyourjoy.guru, and you can click on the events and find Step into Joy
Hmm.
to register. I'll also put the link in the comments below this video
Cool.
so that people can register. It's a steal, and you're like, yeah, the time and the investment, I mean, you are so worth it. And yeah, I just really want people to feel the power in this and what's available here. this is a beautiful opportunity to practice and to honor yourselves and to spend some time with yourselves and also to meet some like-minded souls
Mhm.
and build community and a support system because we're not meant to do this alone. Yes.
Absolutely not.
So I hope that you'll join us, and I'll also be leading a bit of a soul level healing experience for everybody, just going through the 5 steps to soul level healing. And I've got some Ho'oponopono in there. I know a lot of people know me for Ho'oponopono and forgiveness work to help us just return to our original selves, our original essence, our innocence. And
Perfect.
I think it'll
This
work.
is gonna be so fun.
It'll work great together. And the Willow Room it's at Star of the North Retreat Center in St. Albert. And the Willow Room, I've led retreats there before. It's beautiful. And the whole space is beautiful. They've just got these gorgeous plants and all these little areas where you can just sit and have tea and meditate and do some, mindfulness practices. So it really is a lovely facility. You'll be well looked after there. And it even includes meals like or lunch, right? It includes
Lunch, yeah, and snacks. Yeah, so
snacks. So
it's cheaper than staying home.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you can go home at night or you can book a room there and just
Yeah.
immerse yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So reach out if you have any questions. I hope to see some of my tribe there. And you're all invited. Join us.
Awesome.
Join Jeff. You've got to meet this man. And thank you so much for being willing to just do this no matter what. Like I know you're committed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So nice to talk with you.
Good to talk with you, Jerry, as always. Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to leave people with? A little tip or a little something that they can start with?
Um, Take a good deep breath. Just 1 second. Just notice when it comes in. And then my favorite part is exhaling through my mouth and sighing. A good sigh, there's nothing better. It'll smile every time. So why not?
Why not?
Mhm. Exactly.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeff. And thanks
Thanks.
everyone for watching.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Okay. Let me just